Well, it happened yesterday, day before yesterday. Never thought it'd happen to me, but my Leaf died. My Leaf has been losing a little bit of its longevity. The battery degraded a little bit more in the last month or two, and I didn't have a full charge, and I decided to take it to an estimate. I didn't realize how far the estimate was, and it was about 40 miles, a little over 40 miles, and I had like 52 or 53. It was close. If I drove perfect, no air conditioning or anything, to make it back. So I made it back to the shop. Nothing. It started blinking low, it needed charge. So I plugged it in for like maybe a few minutes, and one of the guys at the shop said, "Hey, can you run me to the store real quick?" I wasn't even thinking about it because it didn't go to turtle mode yet. So I was like, yeah, it'll make it. It's only like, the store's like maybe a mile or two down the road and back. So probably told it like 2 miles maybe. Well, we made it to the store, and we didn't even get a mile back from the store, about halfway, and the turtle came up. And you guys, I don't know if you guys know what the turtle is, but when you have a Nissan Leaf and the charge gets low, it goes into turtle mode. Well, usually I've been in turtle mode before, and usually turtle mode, like once it gets down underneath like probably like 10%, it won't tell you how many miles you got left. It'll just have a couple lines, blinking lines, and then it'll say the little charge port plug will come on, that little light, and say low, it needs charge basically. Well, last time I went into turtle mode, I drove like a couple miles on turtle mode, and it would just keep you from going fast. You have to increase your speed very slowly, and eventually it would pick up speed, and then it'd actually go a couple miles without dying. But for some reason, it turned on turtle mode. I don't know if I was not paying attention. I thought it just clicked on, and then almost immediately after, I couldn't hardly pick up speed, and it died totally. It would not go anywhere. So I was able to get it partially off the road, and luckily I had one of my guys with me. We were able to push it off the road, and then there's no place to pull these things, so I had to take my keys and pop open that little plastic cover in the front where your bumper's supposed to be, and I went in the back where there's no spare tire either. All it has is a little pump. So if you go in your trunk on the left corner underneath, you pop that open with your keys, and there's a little tiny compressor, and there's I think there's like something to take your tires off, and then there's that little bar. It's a steel bar. It has an eyelet in it. It's about this long, probably about, I don't know, less than 10 inches long, maybe somewhere around there. It's less than a foot, and you take that and you stick it in there, and you screw it. It has threads on the end. You screw it in as far as you can, and then that allows you to pull the vehicle. Well, we were maybe a little over a mile, right around a mile away. So we walked back to the shop, and had my Segways in the back. I could have just grabbed up my Segways and went down, but there's no sidewalk, so it's kind of dangerous walking down Collins Road because they haven't built the sidewalks yet. So we ended up cutting through a trailer park, and it was a little bit safer, and we had a good walk. It's pretty hot out though. Built up a little cardio, and we took the T100, and I had some climbing rope, and we had probably about 10 foot of climbing rope. I was able to had it bowlines tied in one end, a couple loops, and we're able to thread it through and pull the car back. But the car would not go anywhere at all. It would come on and go in neutral, but it wouldn't even go in drive. So it didn't even have enough power to lock into drive, because if you can lock it into drive and when you pull it, you can actually regenerate and add power back to the car. So we pulled it all the way back to the shop, and there wasn't any. We coasted it in, pulled it into the shop, and I tried to turn it on and just drive it in at like 20 or 30 feet. It was nothing. So had to put it in neutral again. We pushed it in the shop. I plugged it in, and it started charging. So probably in about 15 minutes, I had about 10 or 15 miles, 12 miles. I was able to drive it to my mom's house, and she has a charger as well. So I didn't have to wait too long, because her and my daughter were waiting on me, and I didn't want to have them to wait any longer or have to come get me. So I was able to get to 12 miles, and I was able to make it to their house. But just be aware, when your Nissan Leaf gets a little older, that little reserve turtle doesn't have too much reserve. So if you guys have ever went to turtle mode and you drove for a few miles, sometimes I guess when your Leaf gets older, that turtle mode does not last hardly at all. So try not to get to turtle mode. Once you start to see that blinking light, don't push it. Put it in the charger, because it's going to be a couple years, maybe a year or two, before I can pull this battery out and replace it with a bigger battery pack. I used to get 80 or 90 miles. Now, yesterday, it's right around 70, 72. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna, I think I lost, actually the bar came back. I lost a bar yesterday, and it looks like it came back. I'm missing one bar. So I'm not sure if it regenerated, or I killed the battery a little bit, but now it's only charging at about 70. So it degraded one more little section. Looks like it came back. So I don't know if that hurts the battery or not, but probably not a good thing to do. So anyway, just be aware of your Nissan Leaf. I've only done, I think I've been in turtle mode like twice. This was the third time. So it's kind of hard when you're in a Nissan Leaf not to go below 20% or above 80, because the batteries are so small. I've got a 24 kilowatt battery. So, and it's used. I bought it with over 40 or 50,000 miles, 40,000 miles on it. So as soon as I bought it, it was right around between 80 and 90 miles and that's on eco mode. So I've been charging it pretty much up to 100% the whole time. I know that's not good on it, but if your max is like 70 or 80 miles, it's kind of hard to charge at 80%. So then you'd be, like 65 miles, and that's okay if you're basically going back and forth to the store. But if you need that little extra 5 or 10 miles, it really comes in handy. You'd not believe, like if you're like 50 miles or 55, 60 miles, that extra 20 miles for me is like night and day, because I can go almost anywhere that I need to go at about 100 miles, 90 to 100 miles. Once you start getting like to 60, 65, it's like, because they call it the guessometer. It doesn't actually tell you exactly how far you're going. It just guesses. So if it says 70, you might get 60 or 62 or something. It doesn't always give you what it says. Even if you have the air conditioner off and you don't even drive that hard, sometimes you don't always get that 70 or 65, whatever that mileage is. So it's nice to have a cushion of about 10 or 15 miles. I wish the turtle mode would give you like an extra 15. Say it goes to 0, and then you get 15 or 20 miles after that. That would be the way I would set it up. That way you're not going to be stranded. You'll have that little extra mile or 2 or 3 that you need to get to the next charging station. But other than that, I've been perfectly happy with this car. I mean, it's saved me a lot of money on fuel and maintenance, and the tires are cheap. I mean, all I've put on here is tires and windshield wiper blades, and I didn't really even have to replace some windshield wiper blades. And then every once in a while I'll go and have it pressure washed. It costs like $2 and I can pressure wash the whole car, pressure wash the mats and everything. So instead of doing it at the shop, it's just faster and more convenient. It has the little places to hold up your mats, and then actually all the dirt and stuff stays there. So I prefer to go there. If I had a setup in a bay, I would probably wash my vehicles at the shop, but there's a lot of dirt there. We don't really have a lot of cement next to the pressure washer, and then even if we do, then we have to drive through the dirt again. So if I want to keep the car clean, if I'm going out or not going to be at the shop for a couple days or the weekend, I just go ahead and pressure wash it. I think it's like Ducky's or something like that, little place. Anyway, I've been rambling on, but I just want to let you guys know what happened. No big deal. I got to be more cognizant of not getting so close to 0 on my charging. So anyway, I'm going to plug her in and get to work. So have an awesome day.